SLD being 10-1-21.1. The applicant proposes to subdivide the said area into 7 parcels. Lot number 1 is 42 acres, lot number 2 is 10.3 acres, lot number 3 is 57 acres, lot number 4 is 10.3 acres, and lot number 5 is 10.9 acres. Lot 26 is 5.8 acres, and lot 7 is 4.9 acres. The hearing will be held on July 5th, 2022 at the Town Office Building, Lakeport Road, Chittenango, New York at 6:15 p.m., at which time all interested persons will be given an opportunity to be heard. A copy of the plat of said subdivision has been filed with the town clerk and is available for public inspection prior to the public hearing. This and all meetings held at the town of Sullivan are open to the public.
You wish to speak for that or against it? You may do so at this time.
Do you want his maps for him?
I'm sorry?
You want the maps for that? He's got them with him.
Okay, but this is what you want signed, right? They're no different, are they any different than what we had?
No, it just shows, I think, 6 and 7. No.
Okay.
The map that you had last time, I don't think it had lot 7 on them. What we did is take lot 6 and put it into 2, which we told you about.
Oh, okay.
So it's not-
So it's just Saturday.
The lot, all the way to the right. It's gonna be a 4.9 acre lot, just shy of 5 acres.
Computer usually tells me that.
Conforming.
Okay, I'll fix that.
Okay, guys, do you want to look at this week? If we can, if we got any questions, we can ask Jeff. This is that subdivision down at Smith Ridge. Jeff, can you give Phil a little direction here? Maybe we can find it here on the screen. We don't have an address.
You have that number, but I don't.
So 4 board members.
We're okay with it.
I'll give you the actual map.
Oh,
That way there's no ambiguity. You just hold on until later.
Okay.
Take one pass, please.
Okay, that's the one that was near the corner.
You got that one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you want to stop that.
That's what I have, and it takes me to another town. Never what, and
Talk to Tanya. Talk to Tanya. Tell Jeff says that. So it'd be this parcel right here.
see, she's got it in RPS, I know. But I don't know why. Which part was it?
It's this parcel right here. So this piece right here where that house is has already been cut out. That was cut out this winter. And then leaves the remainder on both sides of the road. So it's all this. And basically what we did is we put the lots where the fields are. Too much. So we basically put the lots going right where the fields are, using the existing hedgerows as much as possible, but trying to keep things as occupationally correct as possible. So, but again, this house and the barn, the old farm, that all got cleaned up and that's all restored. We restored that house and turned it. And that's,
This is the Wesley Dines farm,
yes.
the lands of, yeah, okay. You have not?
No.
Oh, no, you better go. They're around for many years. Many
Oh,
years.
here you go,
Yeah. No, I didn't pull it out.
I know better, Frank, I never questioned you.
What's the date of your map?
Mark.
Oh, it is
Back to
March.
Columbus.
Okay, so
I'm wondering where it was.
you had lots of, you had lots of.
Okay, do you have any questions here or anything you're concerned about? So his site, it's flat to the floor right there.
It is.
And a straight road, they've got great visibility.
Jim, What's the date on the map? I'll put it on there.
That's what facility is not.
So
in.
3/12/22,
This is
3/12/22, more land survey.
Yeah, that's it, correct, you're right,
Smith
you're right.
Estates.
Now, what you have to,
Oh, okay.
on this
you
one,
condensed the building.
notice we asked for perk tests.
Yeah.
So here are the perks on, here are the perks on each one of them, yeah. Which is what we, we,
We've been very, very lucky.
Yeah.
We've been very lucky.
No, he did not perk, however, he did comment on, not having to go to a full raised bed system,
Shallow trench.
a shallow trench system, and the notes saying that on the bottom of the note. So it's all there to inform all the new clients.
It's not cheap.
Yeah, and that's the big deal.
once it doesn't perk, folks, for us, we have no, in the past, we've had him do design. He can't do a design basically because it's going to be not a conventional system and it's gotta go through. The town doesn't act on that, right? That's my understanding.
We can do shallow trench.
Okay.
For a building permit, you'll need a county health department
Well,
sign
it's
off.
gonna be a raised bed, yes, but we used to be able to do shallow.
I don't know what the current rules are with that.
That's what I was told, that might have changed.
It might be.
So it's a hybrid, shallow trench is kind of a hybrid between a full raised bed and a conventional? Okay.
Basically, land things on top of the ground in front of them.
Correct. Yeah. So raised bed, you're going up several feet, then you're getting a pump, and you're typically pumping it up into that system.
Right.
That's where the price comes in, purchasing that pump. Plus the imported material, where a shallow bed is, you're really not going down in the ground much as you can. So basically, you're spreading the surface area wider, and you're bringing material.
Okay, good. Yeah, if you have any questions, we can ask Jeff. I'm sorry.
This Chapman Park on the south side of 31, a lot larger area than I thought. Because it goes below the power lines.
I presume that land, Phil would know better than that, and the Chapman Park property that the town owns, that's what they're talking about. And their south side that goes towards the power lines, that probably was all one, that was Bushnell's farm, wasn't it? I think that's what they bought. Okay.
And, I mean, it's all heavily wooded, there's probably some knobs and stuff. There's some hardwood in there. Did you hear about that stuff?
And then you did ask for the driveways, you showed the driveways on the plot.
It's 30-degree balloon, and it's 20 feet, it grows like 5 feet high, and it's got a big flower on the top of it. I was driving by there, and I looked, I thought I saw
Are
it.
they the triangles?
Yes, sir.
Wow. It's for the paper, I think, last week, your pop on it. Looks like the Queen's lace, but it's much bigger, you know, the big, like the sunflower one is, it's 3 feet high, or 5 feet high.
You probably have a common bus stop. Huh? Yeah. Okay, so everybody knows that. Okay, we asked for driveways, and they're those are your driveways.
Oh, okay, no.
Okay. For folks that came in, we are in the process of having a hearing for a 7-lot subdivision down on Smith Ridge Road. Anyone wishes to speak to that, then you do so. If not, we'll close this one at 6:30 and start a couple more. That's a good question.
Where's the driveway for lot 2? There's no triangle shown on there.
Which one's lot 2?
The 10.3 acres?
They're all 10 acres something. They're all 10 acres plus or minus.
Oh, okay. Well,
Lot 2, the existing one in the middle?
oh, maybe, oh, that's somebody already owned.
Yeah, that's already sold off.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and there's an existing, you can see in the photo here, where the existing buildings are.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Okay. You got lots of room. But Jeff, what I had as a preliminary was, March 12th, 22, and that's the same as the final. Is that what that should be?
Yep.
Alright, let me put this one back. Let's keep these out, because if you're going to approve this, we can stamp these. Okay. We got for our stamp on Peter, that you're gonna sign this.
Could do that tonight.
Pardon?
Tonight?
Depends on where we are. If we haven't got them all stamped, we can we'll do it. Yeah.
This is, I think Frank will take us through this route, this is a resolution on the DEP. Special use permit, just so you have it, I don't have to pass it out later.
Now,
Pass John. We can hit that on this thing.
we can do that. We can do that first. Here, why don't you guys read this in the hearings too? And this is a request from Madison County Tourism. And they're looking for info about sites in town of Sullivan, if you're aware of, at least, write in the margins or something there. What you think we could follow up on, or if they fit with that, what that request is. We just got that. Okay. Last call on the hearing on Smith Ridge. We got time to squeeze one more in here if you got more. Okay, all right. Not hearing any, can I have a motion to close that hearing?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, hearing is closed. Secretary, please read the notice of the second hearing this evening.
A public hearing will be held by the Town of Sullivan Planning Board pursuant to section 276 of the town law on the application of Douglas Moritor for approval of subdivision of land located on 9030 Black Point Road, SLB being 11-1-12.3. The applicant proposes to subdivide the said area into 3 lots. Lot number 1 is 14.9 acres. Lot number 1A, annex 5.5 acres, added to a 1 acre parcel to equal 6.2 acres. and lot number 2 is 1.475 acres. The hearing will be held on July 5th, 2022, at the town office building, Lake Road, Mangatore, at 6:30 p.m., at which time all interested persons will be given an opportunity to be heard. A copy of the plat of said subdivision has been filed with the town clerk and is available for public inspection prior to public hearing. This and all meetings held at the town of Sullivan are open to the public.
Anyone wishes to speak to this, direct your comments to the board, and we'll give 15 minutes here for this, and then we'll have our final hearing. Okay, here, let me see if I got another copy, let's take a look.
This used to be the Grant Farm over here.
Yeah.
It's in there. Oh, yeah. Or nursery around there.
Oh, okay.
Subdivided this once and then it's combining these things.
Wilson Point, Black Point, he's down here. Down there. 31, right? Okay. Yep. This is going all the way, this will be going all the way to 31. He's gonna add this to his property here. And he's going to keep that. It's two separate parcels. So it's gonna have a lot. And he's gonna add this to that. Doug, do most of these lots, 1 and 2, they have access to both sewer and water?
Yes, the lot 2 does, have access to sewer, as it borders the northern portion of the lot, and then water was extended to the lot right next to it. It would need a water extension to get water. It's on it.
To get sewer? Is there water on 1 now?
There is one on lot 1, yes.
Okay, but no sewer?
No sewer.
It has been extended to that point, right?
The water is along Route 31, the southern north.
Oh, okay, I've got the water down along the lake.
Okay. There is water that goes up Wilson though as well.
Okay.
If you see.
So water is available at some
Absolutely.
point.
Yeah.
Water.
On the previous subdivision, water was extended for those lots. So this is just, it would be an extension required to get water. Lot 1 already has sewer along its border.
Is there sewer without water?
Yes.
Any questions here of this? No? Okay. This is gonna be ready for that.
Here's something here. Where we apply for the commercial plaza directly to the east and south of the subject site.
Oh,
It should be north.
Yep.
Due north of the subject
So
site.
we're gonna,
some worksheets you can keep track of.
Okay.
Keep score at home with
Gotcha.
this, so. This first one's in the event we have a project that does get approved, some common conditions that are considered. Doesn't mean you have to adopt these if it's a project that you do approve, you don't approve every project, but it's one I've been using for many of the projects I've been working on for other towns.
Okay.
This other is just a regular checklist for solar compliance with different things that you might want to keep track of, like the name. You'll see it's very self-explanatory as you go along. Another one's similar.
Lots of homework tonight.
Just keep it all together. I would just keep it with your file on this one, Frank. So.
Okay.
And the board members have it.
Okay.
I think I got something to say.
We are in the process, as busy as we look, of having a hearing on a 3-lot, basically subdivision down on Wilson Point and Black Point Roads down along Oneida Lake are the properties of Mr. Mohorter. And if anyone wishes to speak to that, they may do so. We'll close this hearing momentarily and start the third and final hearing. Regular meeting will start at 7. they seem to think there might be some kind of sticky point with that. So I thought that was changed, but let's find out what happened. Let's find out what happened to that.
On page 3, it says 7 to 10. So that's why I've been caught money on too.
Oh, okay. It's not consistent.
Those are from my notes from the actual meeting, that's how that got in there, we'll talk about it
Yeah,
in
well,
the beginning, so at the end, I'll get whatever it is you guys want there. We'll get it right.
Okay, people just came in, quick repeat, we're having a hearing on a subdivision, 3-lot subdivision down on off Route 31, Wilton Point and Black Point Road. Anybody wishes to speak to that, if you're aware of that, do so now. I'm not seeing anything here, and board, can we have a motion to close that hearing?
I'll make a motion to close.
So moved,
Is
second.
there second to that? Yes. Do I hear any discussion? I don't hear any. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is closed. Secretary, will you please read the notice for the third and final hearing this evening?
A public hearing will be held by the Town of Sullivan Planning Board pursuant to section 276 of the town law on the application of Leslie Gillette for approval of subdivision of land located on Lucas Road, Bridgeport, New York, SLB being 9-6-11. The applicant proposes to subdivide the said area into 2 lots. Lot number 1 is 5.5 acres, and lot number 2 is 7.4 acres. The hearing will be held on July 5th, 2022, at the Town Office Building, Lakeport Road, Chicago, New York, at 6:45 p.m., at which time all interested persons will be given an opportunity to be heard. A copy of the plan of said subdivision has been filed with the town clerk and is available for public inspection prior to the public hearing. This and all meetings held at the Town of Sullivan are open to the public.
Okay, anyone who wishes to speak to this, just please direct your comments to the board, and we'll go from there. And we got about 10 minutes or so. We've got to hold out, just in case somebody walks in. All right, here's some more of the Gillette one. And if you got any questions on that, we'll see if we can resolve these before we get. Do you have any questions? You good? I'm sorry. Well, they don't,
Around the lake,
I think it's gonna happen, that's whatever, in this, and there's the town just are now, it does not have any kind of policy, that if you're in so many feet, you gotta look up or anything like that, so if there's no sewer, there's no sewer. And so he's gotta have on-site septic, well, et cetera.
no water either.
Yeah. But that might be in the works, that would have to change. For folks that just came in, we are having a hearing for a 2-lot subdivision down on Lucas Point. If anyone wants to speak to that, they may do so. And the regular meeting will start just about 7 o'clock. This is one of the areas that did not get sewer.
Right.
And so now they're coming back.
This is, see, it says here, just approximate water line. Oh, okay, let's see, water, sewer, but the second lot is neither.
That's correct. That's correct. Here you are, see here, you're located. Yeah, chapter 7. you folks that just came in, we are in the process of having a hearing for a 2-lot subdivision on Lucas Point Road. And if you are familiar with that and you wish to speak to it, you can do so. I kind of assumed as much, but. Why don't you put your maps back in this folder? We can really impress you. This is Gillette, this is the correct.
These are the folders.
This is correct. This is one, this is one.
Yeah, we need those all together.
No, probably not. You folks, unless you've got any questions. We'll run through. That way we. We're gonna end up with and we took care of it. We're gonna take all these, sell like that, and these are the 3 there. I didn't, is there anything that hit you here with this?
I think everything I could think of is already pretty well known. And then some pieces off of, East Lake Road
Yeah.
or something like that, I mean,
When you just give that to Phil, just give that to Phil.
thank you.
Phil, if you read that, you're looking for info, and we kind of passed it around here, we didn't come up with anything. If you got any bright ideas, just scratch it, scratch the margin there, and Jason, last call on the Gillette hearing. Okay, can we have a motion to close this?
I'll second.
Move, second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is closed. Regular meeting for Town of Sullivan Planning Board for the month of July 2022 will commence. And I'll read through an agenda. If for some reason we don't have your name and you want to be, or we overlook you, you're at the end of the agenda. So we'll go from there.
Mr. Gillette, could we decide on my property?
Not yet. We'll get there in a minute.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Thank you.
So what we'll do is we'll go through the individuals that are representing the hearings first. And then we'll go to old business. And under old business, we have some, read some final papers on a Dollar General. I don't know, is there someone here for Dollar General? They don't need to be, but I don't believe there are. Okay, so we're just gonna close some business there, we think. And then we'll deal with Chenango Solar. So we got Chenango Solar represented. Okay, then under new business, I have a Michael Robbins. Okay, Andrew Shore Road, right? And a Michael Papello. Am I close?
Yes, sir, right on the money.
Okay, on Philo Road,
Yes,
Mr. Breen, okay, and Doug Weaver. All right, we covered the bases? Yes, sir.
So I'm here because of this, right? But I also have something else I'd like to.
We'll handle it. Yeah, we'll do it all, okay?
Another property.
When we get you up there, we'll take care of that too.
Perfect.
Okay? I was tipped off that you would, so. All right. First one, Jeffrey Moore is representing an organization, and he has presented a 7-lot subdivision here. We have had a hearing, we've looked at it, we've had our seeker, and do we have any issues here at this point? If not, then I would entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that's good. And, yep, you can leave your maps up here, probably leave them over here in the corner, Jeff. And then we'll put those, look, you rolled the dice, he did bring an That's right. Okay. Mr. Moorhoarder. Mr. Moorhoarder's got I guess you'd call it it's really a 3-lot subdivision with an add-on where he's adding some property onto his own. He's going to incorporate that into that deed. Does the board have any discussion on that?
No.
Okay, well, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
You make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? Not hearing any, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You're good.
Excellent.
Where are you with your maps?
I'm ready to have them to you.
Call Myers and get your final and
Yep.
stuff? Okay, good. Get them in, we'll sign them. They'll give you a call.
Okay, thank you.
Now, wait a minute, you know what I'm supposed to do here? Not sure why. Think of those photos. There's been a rate change, a schedule change in town. Have you, Jeff could talk. It's the same for Mr. Gillette. Did you pay a fee for subdivision? How much did you pay?
$2,500,
Not 2,500.
$2,500 for survey.
Oh, no. What did you pay the town?
Oh, nothing.
All right, well, you owe the town $250.
Okay.
Same for you, okay? So, you won't get, I just letting you know that, you won't get your maps, you won't get the signed maps to go file until all that's taken care of, okay?
How we just call here or something? say-
Well, what'll happen is we'll sign the maps, and Jerry in the office will give you a call. You have technically 60 days from the time that we sign everything for you or your agent to get them filed in Madison County Clerk,
Okay.
okay? Technically, which is I've never seen happen, technically, it would be null and void if you failed to do that, okay? So, at that time, when you're notified, you come to pick up your map to file,
Okay.
you gotta come clean with the town.
So you're referring to the Mylar maps you'd like, and how many of those?
You can do as many, we're gonna keep one signed paper,
Okay,
and then you can have as many as you want,
okay.
okay? They're suitable for framing, they make good gifts, whatever.
You only need one mile.
Yeah, the Mylar's right, just one.
You just need one Mylar.
That goes to the county.
And one paper copy.
That,
For you.
the Mylar is going to the county, we keep one paper. We
Gotcha.
would advise you to have at least a minimum of one for every lot,
Correct. Okay, thank you very much.
but we will do more if you wish.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so you're set. All right, Mr. Gillette has a 2-lot subdivision down on Lucas Road. We've looked it all through, we've had our discussions here. Do you have any questions? Are you willing to make a motion?
So move.
Second.
Move seconded, any discussion? Not hearing any, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We could, maybe it might be a bit late. Counselor, we put a caveat in that when available, he has to hook up to, no, okay, so we'll leave it alone. All right. Just so you're, because he's gonna have, you got one lot there, you got on-site septic and you got well.
If the town passes a law of general applicability, related to sewer and water that says if you're within 200, 300 feet, you must hook up, then that law will apply
Okay.
regardless of what it says. Well, there is, I don't know if it's just for sewer though, it is for water, I have to look and see. It's probably,
If you're within 1,000 feet.
probably in here somewhere,
It is.
yeah. But you don't need to say it in your resolution.
Okay, we're good, you're good, okay?
How's
And
that?
that, yeah, you just wait, you got it now. Who did your work again? I don't know, I can't remember.
For the survey?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that.
Forrest.
Can't stone on.
Who?
Rick Myers.
Oh, Rick? Okay. Call them, tell them you're ready to go, and just like the rest, you're gonna get what they call an acetate, okay, that you can file, that's fileable in Madison County Clerk's office, and whatever number of papers. We're gonna keep one of them once we sign them. You ought to have 2 or 3 anyway, minimum.
Okay.
And we'll sign, as I said, you want more, we'll sign more.
But you bring everything here first.
Well, I brought a copy already before, and I got a copy here.
Okay, but you need the Mylar.
Where's the mileage?
Okay,
Mylar.
we have,
He
what happened to those?
I took them.
Oh, we'll show you what a Mylar is, but they know, they know the drill, they've done it a million times.
All
You
right.
just call and say, everything's passed, I need what I need to file,
Okay,
and they'll take care of that for you,
okay.
okay?
All right, thank you.
Sure enough.
Oh, okay. All right, you'll leave one. Oh, okay. All
Okay,
right.
all right, let's, Dollar General, let's see if we can take care of that. All right,
Back up. We did not make a motion to accept the minutes
oh,
of the previous
okay,
meeting.
oh, we can do that.
And I did make a comment to Rose about, there was, the thrift shop over here. They had the hours, you had closed Sunday, Monday, and then Saturday, Sunday for the hours, so there's a typo in there.
Do we get it straightened out?
You guys straightened out, Rose?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back. Minutes. Minutes been circulated from the June meeting to the board prior to this, and we'll entertain any additions or corrections in addition to what Paul just.
I make a motion to accept them with the corrections proposed.
Gotcha. Second to that?
Second.
Okay, we're good. All right, now, let's see what we can do here, John, with the Dollar General.
Okay.
We've got 2 things we have to accomplish. We've got to agree and make sure that the resolution reflects what we all thought it should. And then the second thing is we have to pass and then eventually sign the maps for that subdivision.
There were there was one thing I noticed, there was on page, where the heck was it? The one, yeah, it was on, oh, here it is, on page 3, item 2, the first bullet, it said commercial plaza directly to the east and south of the subject. Shouldn't that be to the north?
Which item is it?
Item, page
Bullet
3, item
3.
2, bullet, no, that's the first bullet there. It says there are other examples, single family, commercial. And it says commercial plaza directly to the east and south. The final line of the paragraph.
It's to the east and to the south, so that's okay. Healthcare
Plaza.
facility in the plaza,
Yeah.
that's across the street.
That's just-
Correct. That's on the
So
north.
the healthcare facility is the physical therapy,
Right,
that's to the north.
no, that's the
That's
south.
to the what, no,
That's
that's
west.
the west.
Directly west.
West and north.
West.
Yes, west.
West and north.
Third base, I don't know.
He's on first.
All right, which one are we agreeing that these facilities are
Directly west
in north?
West,
north.
west and north.
West and north.
Subject.
That change will be,
But you,
I didn't bring my maps.
Well- yeah. You're talking basically things that are on, you've got some on the south, you've got some on the north. You
Yeah.
got, there's a mix of items
Right.
here.
Right,
I would just say, why can't you say adjacent to the site?
we can do that.
That would get rid of the directions and you wouldn't have to separate.
It's done.
Okay?
And the fourth bullet up from the bottom on page 3.
From the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The retail store will operate 7 to 10.
Now, I changed that to 11, there's a new
Yeah, that-
version that came
Yeah,
out.
and then you got 11 on page 8.
Did they want,
Yeah,
But we think 11 is too early.
well, that's what we're here to talk about, because they sent an email saying, hey, we'd like it to go from 7 to 11. But if that's a problem, that they won't insist on it, and I don't think they have the right to insist on it. It's up to you guys as to what you.
Did they say 7 a.m.?
They proposed,
I don't remember that.
They proposed 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Yeah, my notes were, because I was specific, I asked them when they were standing here. I said, tell them what hours you want, and that's how we got it is very early.
I mean, is
7 to
this-
10.
I think it's like 9.
what's that?
7 a.m. store open?
Well, they don't have to open then.
Okay.
They may
Oh,
open.
okay, it gives them the, okay.
It's just a
within that
window.
range, okay.
Yeah, we can't tell them like that they have to be
All
open.
right, that's fair.
That,
But we
I
can
thought,
say you can't be open any earlier or any later than.
yeah, I thought they were looking for,
They wanted a
yeah,
range.
well, they wanted the flexibility of between these hours.
Right.
If they wanted to run 8 to 6,
Right.
More like 9 a.m.
huh?
Yeah, yeah. that's-
Yeah, and I guess,
Yeah,
but
I
they're looking
changed
for an
the-
upper limit of
Yes.
11, and that's up
Yeah.
to this board.
Yeah, and again, if they don't open until 9, nobody's gonna run down and enforce that, right?
I think 11 is too late on.
Just the way it's worded, John, it says,
Yeah.
Well, of course-
we'll operate 7.
Of course,
Yeah.
you gotta remember, across the road,
But again,
Across
I
the road,
will,
houses open.
but I don't think anybody's gonna ever enforce it the way you're talking about. I don't think that would be
Casino's
rational.
open 24.
But I just took their words and put them in this. All
I
right.
mean, if you have a concern about that, I would let them go to the 11 then.
I'm going.
I mean, that doesn't mean that they will be,
I understand.
okay? Circumstances
They gotta
might.
find out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they gotta work their own shifts.
Okay, I changed that one, John, as well. It says it may operate between 7 a.m. and 10 May.
Yeah, I like it, yeah, I like that.
Again, it's a between, and I did the same thing on page.
It was page 8.
8, thank you, well, page 8, got the same thing between 7 a.m. and 11. But if you're saying you're not gonna go at 11, then I gotta put it back to the original 10, so what is it you guys?
11's fine.
She says it's too late.
Huh?
That's too late, Sherry says. She's not gonna go there at
Frank says-
10:45.
No.
Or you can
Should be
go
the
at 1
casino.
o'clock in the morning.
Well, I'm saying you got Tops across the road at midnight,
Yeah.
and
The
the
casino.
casino's open 24/7,
Yeah.
so just like it do.
So leave it at 11?
Yeah, there's no
All right, we got
residential
11.
influence there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the one in town does.
Well, they think they close at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't
Okay, I
think.
made those changes. What else you got?
No.
I think that was it. Now, we've got, I just noticed this, but I have nothing to back this up. Some of your dates on some of your maps, they're like 6 years old.
Let me see, that's probably not right if that's the case, where are they?
Well, you got your last, on page 8.
Oh, yeah, that's actually correct, they
Okay.
gave us this stuff as background information, those
Okay,
are
alright, okay.
accurate
Okay,
references, yeah. That was stuff was given us to consider things.
okay, good enough.
That's good.
I don't have anything.
2009, 2010.
Yeah, 2019.
Good. All right, so you guys, basically, you're okay with me signing that? Because technically we've approved.
I'll have to resend with the slight changes, okay?
And then we'll
Danielle will make these changes tomorrow, and I'll get them back out to you.
we'll send them on.
And I will put the minutes in until.
Yeah. That's good.
So we're good? All right, now I think we need a full motion to approve the subdivision.
Didn't we approve subdivision?
No, well, we may have approved it, but maybe we just didn't sign the maps.
I think we
can't
approved the
recall.
subdivision.
I think
Yeah.
It was voted on.
Separated.
Bill?
I think
Subject to.
everything's,
Okay,
I think,
Yeah, I thought it
Yeah,
was.
so that was, the subdivision itself was voted on. It was a motion by Paul, seconded by John, I believe.
okay, because the discussion was,
Oh, no, that's special use permit, sorry. But I do have it in here.
all right, so we'll date those maps as of today. Or we'll find that approval date, but we'll date them when we sign them.
That was
tomorrow.
John and Paul versus Paul and John. So the subdivision was John and Paul.
So, you did. Okay, we're good. We're good on it.
You're good on that one.
All right. Put that to rest. Tornado Solar. Ta-da. What we got?
We're here, how you doing?
How you doing?
Good, good. I'm gonna jump over to this display, if that's all right. Travis Mitchell with Liza Shep, Nexam, environmental design, the engineering consultant for the project. We met with you last month for the first time, and that was the first time you'd seen the application. You needed to spend a little bit more time with it, and we also talked about the need for a variance from the wetland setback, so we provided some additional information this month. We've also made an application to the ZBA, so we thought we would go over the additional information we provided you just quickly here, and kind of talk about next steps, and answer any questions as we move forward with the project.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna skip through some of these. We can spend some more time if you'd like, but I'll just get right to the meat of it. So this is the project. It's a 3.1 megawatt AC solar project. Again, we talked about this last time. It's a tracker system, so the arrays are oriented north-south, and they follow the sun throughout the day. This is on Lakeport Road, across from Smith Ridge Road. No battery storage. It's about 16 acres of fenced area. This is the project location. Here's Lakeport here. About 270 acre site. Again, 16 of it is what we're occupying with the solar farm. Your zoning map, it's thoroughly within the ag district. Again, this is that fenced area of the solar farm here around the overall parcel there. You had asked us last time with a question about visibility in general, but I think specifically from the mobile home park to the north and then along Lakeport Road. We provided some images to you, but we've also, over the last couple of weeks, we've supplemented them with some additional photos. I think this is one of the images that we provided to you. This is looking generally from Lakeport Road toward that mobile home park. We also got in the some photos within the mobile home park. This is looking down to the south toward the array. This is just a close-up of that location, and it is primarily deciduous vegetation, but given the distance and the density of it, it's obvious that it's not visible now, but I don't believe it'll have visibility in the winter time either from that location. What's that physical distance from there? It's, I can estimate it, I can give you an exact next time, but it's gonna be, this 1600, it's gonna be pushing 1,000 feet, I'd say, maybe 600 from there. from this location to
Right.
there. Yep.
At the last meeting, I think we asked if a copy of this could be sent to the
Yep,
town.
and I just, sitting there, I remembered you asked that, and I just thought, you know, I don't think I sent that, I will absolutely send it by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, yes.
No, that
I apologize, sorry. Yeah, I was just sitting there thinking, why you asked me for that?
That's okay.
What was the question?
Jeff, question?
No, I was just gonna comment about, I've seen, you know, some aerial photo of the area, and it does look like there might be some sparsity of the vegetation in that area to, you know, yeah, right in there. So, I mean, would it be possible to enhance that somehow if there is any concern?
Yeah, absolutely, as we, again, so the point of the, you know, our initial meetings here is to understand what your concerns are and either provide you, you know, the additional documentation to address those concerns or address it through vegetative planning, you know, whatever, you know.
Cause I drive by that regularly,
Yeah.
and that's a pretty flat stretch. I've seen some of the other solar things like over here on 298, they kind of put it behind the berm, so really can't see it as much. So this is gonna, you know, follow similar ways of, desensitizing the visibility of it or whatever.
Yeah, and as we talked about last time, the major hurdle here is with the ZBA in the 1,000-foot setback to wetland. So our goal here is to provide, you know, to provide you with enough information so that we can start the process, understanding you're not gonna make any decisions, but we don't wanna dive too far into this until we know where the ZBA comes down on it. So that's kind of, it's a chicken and egg thing as we go forward. But certainly appreciate the question, and we will, you know, we will address it as we go forward. We provided you, that's that one, this one. This is, Smith Ridge is here over in this area. This is the farmhouse here. So you're really looking out toward where that array will be situated in this view. It's about 500 feet from the edge of the fence off the road. So it's pretty good distance, and it's slightly down. So what we will provide as we go forward here is actual, you know, visual simulation that shows the perspective of the size of that out in the field. And then we'll get to the point where we're talking about vegetative screening and those type of things to make you, you know, comfortable with this particular view right here. This is where it will be visible without screening across from Smith Ridge Road.
What was the panel height, proposed panel height from the ground?
Yeah, so with these tracker systems, what we propose is something under, I think your code allows up to 20, so it would be less than 20. So I think technically we're about 17 and a half, 18, but we want to say under 20 because as you have undulations in the ground, you could take a measurement from a ditch that's down 1 foot and have it be, you know, still within your tolerance of your code. So we like to, again, I think it's a 17 and a half, 18-foot panel, but we list it as under 20 to make sure we comply with the code. If that makes sense. So the other discussion point that we had was just in general, I think, on noise. And again, I've provided you just basic attenuation with distance. As we go forward with this, you know, we hopefully get through the ZBA process, we can dive into some additional detail. But basically, the primary piece of noise generating equipment is here. That's about 1,600 feet from the road. I provided you that graph that shows, you know, at 82 decibels right at the equipment. As we go, just basic sound principles, as we go away with distance to 1,600 feet at the road, the noise level is down to like 28 decibels, which in the residential, you know, kind of setting here, the background we'd expect to be in the high 30s, so it won't be audible from Airport Road, basically. And again, as we move forward with the project details, we can supplement that as needed, but that was just a question that came up, so we provided that basic information. As far as the approval process goes, of course, we have site plan review and special use permit with your board, but you can't get through that unless we can get through the ZBA. So we made an application last week or so to the ZBA. They've scheduled it for an August meeting so that they could also hold a public hearing. One of the points that we touched on last time is the seeker process. And I think ideally, what we most often see and what we prefer, if it's acceptable to the board, is for this board to take lead agency under seeker and had one coordinated seeker review process with this board as the lead agency.
So on that, so we're using Martin and Judas as our design professionals. They would like to assist us in the secret process. So in order to get them to do that, they had sent the town a proposal for the project, and the town board has to agree to the proposal.
Oh, it has to go through the town board.
Yeah, and she signs it, yeah, so that's, I think it's on the agenda for tomorrow night, I believe. So that's just to let you know how that procedure goes. And they're pretty strict, P&L's pretty strict, a lot of my towns, they want the actual town to sign off on it, which, you know, it's good business on their part.
Sure.
So that'll be on for tomorrow night's meeting to do that, but the lead agency couldn't be done after that has been reviewed by P&L. At least that's the way we've done it for all of our projects.
But, so part of the question is.
Who's gonna be?
Pardon?
The part of the question is what?
Well, CBA's gotta do seeker because they're doing.
Well, you can do that, you can do it, you guys can be lead agency, but you'd have to make your final determination before the zoning, if we do a coordinated review, then the zoning board can't make a final decision until you guys say negative declaration or otherwise.
That's kind of where I was going.
What we typically see happen there is acknowledgement that the planning board should and wants to be the agency. You've got a process to work through, and we understand that, and so we'll advance with the ZBA, assuming they agree that you be the agency, and we'll get to the point where we have a comfort level with them that it is approvable, and then they'll hold, they can close the public hearing, and then they'll hold until this board takes action on seeker.
I agree that would be the right way.
And then we go back to the ZBA, once you have seeker done, and we ask for their approval, and then we come back to you for your approval. So because of the two boards, it's going to be a multi-month process, but it is what it is.
Yeah. That's just what you were talking about.
Yeah, we understand. Unfortunately, it's the way it has to be. Yep.
Okay. No.
So I don't, other than taking additional feedback of what your concerns might be as we advance the process, I don't know that there's a whole lot that you can do tonight. Is it possible to start coordinated review, although not taking any action?
Well, if this is going to be a type 1 action. Type 1 action, and we declare ourselves lead, or we wish to declare ourselves lead, we've got to send out that notice. That's 30 days.
That's right.
So what you're thinking here?
Well, my thinking is B&L is going to assist on that. One of the first things they do for all of these projects is they look at the part 1 that's been prepared, and they ask if there's they check to make sure the information's accurate on their end.
Well, you can start to process the.
That's how it started when we have B&L involved. Yes.
But I mean, they certainly can review a seeker submission.
B&L will.
For our benefit.
Correct.
But nothing will happen until the process. We are officially lead agency.
Right. So you won't be lead agency until the notices go out. 30 days has elapsed, and that's why B&L is helpful, because they will look to make sure all of the involved and interested agencies that are supposed to be listed are listed. They're sort of our hands in helping us make sure that the information receiving.
So what you're saying is you want to kick B&L in.
Well,
that means you have to respond to their demand for escrow, right? Once you do that, then they would kick this in. And so we're probably more than 30 days. You're more than 30 days out with a lead agency determination.
Given that the ZBA isn't meeting now until August 11th, I guess, and your next meeting is before then, it would be, if the timing can work so that this board declares their intent at their next meeting, their August meeting, and then the ZBA would know that.
The stars have to be aligned.
Yeah, sure. If the timing can work.
The stars have to be aligned for all that to happen.
And so have we officially received an escrow request, or does that wait until?
I don't know. I have not seen it.
I saw something come through, but I wasn't sure that was the number.
I thought you did. I sent an email.
I saw your number, but I didn't see
sent an
the
email, and then they sent a number. I thought they copied you on it. I will.
I saw an invoice for escrow for civil engineering review.
That's it. That's the escrow amount, yes.
So this is the same escrow. I thought you were just now speaking of a second one for seeker. Okay, so
That's
this
part-
is
No,
the
so
same.
their entire proposal is soup to nuts review, which includes the seeker, which, it's an estimate, so. They might
Yep.
supplement later on, or they might say they have more than enough.
They'll do a general review of your submitted, of your site plans
Right.
and anything else we need down the road. We need a SWIP on this too.
Absolutely.
And so they will be the ones that will review your SWIP submittal. And all of that's the package deal that they come up with. But I think right now, what you're saying is the pressure point is the seeker, and let's see if we can get.
Yeah, we know we need a SWIP, we know there's additional detail in the site plan that you're gonna see. But
Okay.
I don't think we need to take it to that level to get seeker started.
Yeah.
Because we don't, if the ZBA doesn't approve the variance of the wetlands, then we've gotta start from scratch anyway.
Agreed.
That's fair.
Okay, but so the thing is, we gotta find out where, really, the onus is yours.
We've gotta get the estimate.
You get a hold of B&L, say, this is what we're doing, this is what we wanna do, we need to move this along, we need your estimate here, and you, between, you have to make your own decision, business decisions on this, but the agreement is actually between B&L and the town.
And who is I presume someone from the town will coordinate with B&L. You don't want us necessarily to reach out directly to them? Or
Probably Beth, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, that's fine.
Because where I had left off with the invoices, I was talking to the code enforcement officer, Larry Ball, about this when I was talking to him about the zoning board, the ZBA, request. And I had said that I have everything processed, but need a W-9 for that. So this question goes to Beth.
She's the comptroller.
Okay.
She's the comptroller. I would probably say that's your best source, right?
Okay.
As far as money transactions and
Right.
making these connections. She's
Perfect.
done this multiple times.
Awesome. I will
Okay.
reach out accordingly.
I would say that would be the approach. Okay, so board, what you have to decide right now is we have to make a declaration of lead agency.
No, not yet, Frank, in my opinion.
No?
My opinion is we have to get B&L to review the part one.
Oh,
They'll
okay.
tell us if it's accurate, because the first thing we do,
Oh, you
once
know
we
what?
make that decision, I'm sending letters out to all the involved and interested agencies with copies of the part one of the EAF, and I gotta make sure B&L said, yes, this EAF
Well,
is
but
accurate.
otherwise, if we don't do that, if we don't declare now, we won't declare until the next meeting.
Correct.
And that would start that down. But if we said tonight and B&L said we should go that route, then we're ready to go. Why can't we get those
I
notices
think
out?
that puts the cart before the horse a little bit.
But I think that what Mr. Parker is suggesting is acknowledge that this board wants to do it, but don't start coordinated review.
Yeah, I can't send the
until we
notices
get-
out.
Right, you can't send the notices.
And that's a
until we
resolution,
get-
No.
so that's a resolution that we normally would do, a resolution declaring ourselves to be lead agency under the 617. And then we would say, we're gonna be the lead agencies, these are the interested involved agencies, which we would pull from the.
You want B&L to
EAF.
designate,
I
you
want
want
them to
B&L to
say,
designate.
these are the right answers
Okay.
to those questions, so that it's totally accurate.
It's up to you, board. Huh? No, I mean, this is your council.
That's
The
yeah, it's just my
ZBA
advice.
the ZBA doesn't meet till August 11th,
Right.
so you've got another meeting. It doesn't matter if you do it this one or next one.
Okay, let's do it that way.
Yes, it doesn't sound like we can do a conditional one, so.
Well, that's where I was going. That's where I
It
was
just
going.
makes it
Yeah,
more
I mean, it's-
complicated.
Yeah,
And they're not, these
Okay.
guys aren't pushing for any, special consideration, I just think it's, wise to let B&L get their eyeballs on the document that we're gonna rely on to make ourselves the lead agency.
We'll get the escrow sorted out, we'll speak with B&L just to kind of lay out the schedule for them to see if it's possible for them to have comments back for your next meeting. And, any questions or comments on what you've seen?
I would say that in your transactions, if I could get copied on communication between Beth, DNL, so I know where you are,
Yes.
if that's in the
If we have
process.
any phone discussion, we'll just follow it up with an email and copy you so that you know the content of the discussion.
Okay, right. Board, we good?
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, appreciate the time.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Mr. Robbins. Come on up somewhere in the front here. Close to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, tell the board what you got in mind here, okay?
At our property at 187 Andrews Road, there's a half-acre roughly back lot that we want to have temporary storage area for our 2 horses. Just unload and load. We have a horse farm up on 173 in town Sullivan as well. But just when we're there on weekends, we come back from a horse show for maybe a night or so. There's no running water, no electricity, no fans, no barn. So it's just solely a temporary area to unload the horses off the trailer. But we do normal maintenance and what have you. We do it at a normal property.
What street did you say this was?
Can you point up there, what? I guess you can't touch it though.
It's the blue.
Oh, so you've got.
Oh, I didn't realize there's something in the back lot on the left. I'm sorry, sir.
Yes, point.
Tell me off guard.
What street?
187 Andrews Shore.
Andrew Short?
So it's an empty lot.
What are you gonna do?
This is an older picture. There's professional corral fence up, temporary fence.
Yeah, he got, so he's got an order to run, he built that, and that's why Larry.
Yeah, originally it started because of the fence and the debate, I won't say debate, over a temporary fence. It wasn't a fence, it's mobile. But professional fence, I mean, the way you see it in normal corrals, what we use on the horse farm, or you'll see anyway. I apologize, I didn't bring any pictures. I didn't know I was talking tonight, or if it was on the agenda for the meeting tonight, so I called this afternoon. So the fence is right around here. Like I said, so we're bringing water over to them when they need to. It's just a temporary area for the horses, no long-term storage by no means. The bugs in the wetlands, they're shore horses. They don't do level bugs. They want to be dirty. But they're literally just to get them off the trailer while we're there, to get them back on the trailer, bring them back to the farm.
So this is a stable sort of thing, temporary stable, the whole.
I wouldn't want to say corral, or corral, not a pasture.
We don't have corral as a use. I'm looking to figure out what the use is for this. Do you have any idea? I mean, in my other towns, this would be considered a stable to keep horses, whether it's long-term, short-term. Trying to see how this fits into what we're trying to do.
Approximately a mile down the road, there's a special use permit for the same application as well. Town Sullivan, Davis Point Road.
I don't know about it, so to see what that one is. I feel like I gotta talk to Larry about it. I don't know what it's.
I think, yeah, well, here's kind of the quandary that we're sitting here with a couple of ways. One, technically, our animal law, so to speak, you can come to the planning board for a special use permit to keep domestic animals, horses, cows, pigs, chickens, okay? In other residential areas, you can have these according to a schedule, residential, LR 40s, ag, wherever there's other ones, you can have it, unless you're commercial agriculture, unless you're, according to that schedule, you need an acre a horse. You haven't got that. The other thing is, you'd have, if there was some other way to look at it, now you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it. Manure,
It's
It'll
be removed.
Yeah, you got, manure, any storage of any of that, any kind of odors so far from the property lines, that would be all things that would have to be looked at. Why? Are you connected with Crawford? Is that the one?
He's our neighbor. Yep.
He's your neighbor up there.
correct, on 173.
Oh, so,
The
you're
GC
not, but you're not connected to that operation.
No, he's just our neighbor.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's-
we're independent from.
That was a okay.
No, he's just our neighbor. Similar, I don't want to say similar operation, obviously different scale of economics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully that doesn't matter.
Well, that's why we're
Property-
kind of wondering why
adjacent
why
property.
can't you take those horses up to 173?
They are right now. Our horse farm is on 173.
But aren't these horses? Where are these horses going?
Well, it's a stop horses.
Yeah, it's just
It's a stop.
From where?
temporary.
For what?
When he comes out to show
In a
you.
stroll before he goes up to 173.
Right, this is just our camp. So we go to camp, say we come back from Coastal last week and we have the horses on the trailer. As opposed to leaving the horses on the trailer, we're just proposing to offload them while we mow the lawn, what have you, then bring them back to the horse farm at 173. Woodcrest Stables, next to Woodcrest Golf Course. That's our other property.
A little bit of hay, a little bit of green.
Yeah,
3 days most.
and that'd be extremely, I don't see how they could, this is the AMP property behind this corporation and on the side, so it's wetland. So you have a ton of mosquitoes and a ton of bugs. We're just literally looking for a spot for the horses are uncomfortable on the trailer to put them in a controlled environment.
I don't
There's
know.
other unloading horses, there's a bunch of neighbors that do this already there without issue. This started when we put up the temporary fence, which led now to other issues with the road and what have you.
I think we gotta find out from Larry what his mindset is and what he's thinking these folks need from any board, this board, no board, zoning board, because I'm just quickly reading this and I'm seeing requirements for these farm animals and fowl, and some of the animals listed are large and or medium, or include horses. And then we have this part that says the keeping of farm animals, if they are farm animals, on a residential property, which may or may not be, must be incidental to the primary use of the property as a dwelling. So I think that's where you're keeping a horse in, back by the barn when you live there. I need to find out from Larry what section of the code is he sending this here on? Because I don't know if I know. Is it?
Because
You already know?
we don't know.
This is literally no different than parking the horse trailer on their back lot. All we're doing is letting them off the horse trailer for a little bit while we're there.
I just want to make sure we get it right, though. So I'm not saying that you can't do this at all. You might very well be able to. I just want to make sure we do it the right way, because whatever we do now will be the way we take care of it for other people. Just want to make sure we have it correct.
And this is just seasonal, right?
Oh, so you gotta be
Yeah,
done
we
September
can't- the
1st.
whole
By
idea
the time we get through
temporary
this
is-
process, we'll probably be done.
We can't go by that.
Now, what do you mean by that? I mean, you won't do this in the middle of the winter, right?
Oh, no, sir, not at all. Like I said, September 1st, when goose season opens or what have you, the horses will not be here. So by the time we go to the next meeting in August and we make a decision, we'll probably be mute at that point. So this started when we put up a couple corral fences around there. And there was an issue, it was debated, was a fence or not fence, temporary fence?
Well, I don't know if we have a temporary fence.
A mobile fence, a mobile fence.
I think there's a
What they are, what they are, they look
Yeah.
like, they're
Right, yeah.
big
Yeah,
gates.
Yeah.
Big gates.
Yeah, but I'm saying as far as structures on property, I don't know that our code recognizes.
No, I don't think
a
so
mobile
either.
fence.
So that's what
Larry
Larry
was
said, so it was mute
correct
after
in
we
that
wrote
sense.
I mean, that was done. I mean, so now we're back to the unloading and loading the horses off a trailer. So that's how we got here tonight, and I apologize, I'm not prepared because I didn't know what you're talking about.
I'm not prepared because I didn't know what his mindset was for this.
So I think the only thing we can do is to table anything on this until August, until we get some kind of an idea where we're going. This is the problem. You won't be unique. I mean, if whatever we do, we've got to do, and we've got to have it grounded in some rationale that we can, we can extrapolate to somebody else. They have the same issue. Okay, this is how we do it. Right now, you kind of got us sitting here going, we don't know. I mean,
Well, we're here, Larry asked us.
we understand that, but we're not trying to do anything, throw anybody under. We're just saying, but if we're the ones that are supposed to take action, we don't really know what we're supposed to do. Okay?
That makes two of us.
Yeah.
That makes two of us.
Yeah, that's where we are.
And the answer might
That's
be
where
in
we
here
are.
somewhere,
And as
but I
John
can't
said, we're
find
not
it.
really passing any judgment or anything else.
Okay.
We're just saying, Okay, but how do you deal with it? Right?
There's a lot of people down there that, consecutively, they're horse people that board their horses other places. And they were all excited because there was just a little bit of activity, you know, that they could let their grandkids come feed them carrots and that. I mean, literally, my horses are kind of prima donnas. They go to the horse shows, they don't like flies and stuff, so they come down just so that maybe I could possibly not have to drive back and forth to Chittenango twice a day. You know, it's really just a temporary setup, so
Okay.
people can, you know, I can have a little bit of peace and offload them off the trailer for a couple days and take them back to Chittenango. Would be kind of nice.
I think we gotta talk to Larry about.
We got to figure out how we're gonna do it. Well, board, can I just have a motion to table this action? Any discussion, anything?
I'll second it.
We can,
Who's second?
I did.
is there any discussion concerning that? Okay, so that's where we are. What I think in fairness, you ought to be able to check in here in the next couple weeks and say, hey, where are we?
I'll talk to Larry, I'll give him a call.
Yeah, where are we? What's happening here? And we owe you an answer, one way or the other. I'm sorry, we just don't have a good answer. We just don't have a good answer for you.
We just found out today we were on the agenda for the meeting today, so we showed up because I didn't want to not show up, so.
Well,
Did you
we
do
right
it on
there.
the agenda?
I didn't know.
You did the right thing.
But he did have
You're
to
good.
fill out an application.
You're good.
He did?
Yes, we got one here.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Number 2 on the hit parade here is Michael Popple. All right. Okay, why don't you explain what you have in mind? Line up a little closer here, please.
So you guys should have everything I submitted, correct?
I've got an application.
Application and everything. So I currently reside on 817 Filer Road, which is way back there. And when I bought the property, it's that whole 16.25 acres there. When I bought the property, the previous owner had held back that 0.92 of an acre up there to the left there. And so I own a construction company, and I've been keeping most of my stuff in that smaller barn right there, and we're expanding.
Walk up there, just try not to touch the screen.
Yeah. Here's the house and here's the barn here currently. And here's the lot over here where I just purchased.
That's the 1.9 acres you're talking about?
It's about a full acre, roughly. And so basically, here you go. So I get more storage because it's kind of a small shop there. I'd like to build a 60 by 100 full barn there to store my stuff and have for employees to come in the morning, kind of punch in and punch out at the end of the day.
Staging area kind of thing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
One sign on the building, nothing crazy. No high traffic if we have any customers that want to come down and be by appointment only. That's pretty much it.
This is in the LR40?
I'd have to. I want to double check that for sure. I think it is, but I'm not sure. If not, it's ag.
Yeah, it's agriculture.
Maybe zoning versus,
right?
Like that's a technical definition where there's a line drawn on a map around the land that says LR40 versus ag.
If you look over, if right there on the map above Mr. Breen.
Yeah, show us on the map.
Yeah, right there on that map, you show us our location. The green one was right there. I think it's that yellow strip there going to the west. That yellow strip. That's Filer.
It looks like he's on the south side of it.
That trailer.
So he's just to the
North of Filer, what are we looking at?
he's to the west of the trailer park. Is that what it is?
I'm not sure.
According to that, right? That's north and south.
allowed uses in the LR40 are in the code. One family dwelling, two
It looks
family
like the road
dwelling,
frontage is
farm-related
LR40.
structures,
The back section is.
medical facility, multiple family dwelling, orphanage, accessory buildings. And that's for districts located south of Route 31. And, let's see, so that's your LR40.
But no commercial building.
Yeah, so now I'm looking at, if it's an agriculturally zoned property, it could be low impact storage warehouse. If that's agricultural, we need to know if it's agricultural. If you wanna consider that to be low impact warehousing, I don't know. But you got employees going in here, and
It's more than that.
It's a business use, commercial use. It's either proposed for LR40 or ag. That's another question for Larry, which is what you're thinking there, Larry. Why would you do that? I mean, but there might be a easy answer he can quickly give us.
On my map here in the book, there's a short business area in there. Before you get to,
Right where this property is?
It's probably Math Road now.
If it's business, then I think there's a path.
Well, the previous owner, this was all covered with horses and cows and chickens and all that stuff. So when I bought the property from him originally, because the owner of this trailer park, he owns an excavation company, and he said
Which trailer park is that right there?
This is that Shady Lane? That's Shady Lane on this side.
Okay.
The opposite side of me is, what's the other one? There's another one right.
Idlewood?
Yeah. So I'm in between both of those, and then there's 200 acres behind me that this guy on the left owns, and the other person owns 75. It's all.
That's the south side of Filer Road.
Farm-related structures would be allowed in the LR.
You're on the south side or the north side of Filer?
I'm not too sure. I mean,
North
heading this way, I'd be on the left side of the road.
The north side. Okay. Yeah.
But again, this property he had, I took down. You can see kind of the fence it used to be.
Oh, okay.
And so he kept this to kind of make more money. Oops, sorry. Kept this to kind of make more money in the property. I didn't even know. I thought I was getting that piece of land. So, but I took down all the horse fencing, and apparently, like I said, the person who owned this had pigs, cows, chickens running around. I don't know. He used this for his horse barn because I cleaned it out and found a bunch of little steroid things in there. So that's whatever he was giving his horses. I don't know.
Okay, we'll learn more about horses. We need to know.
So it's a construction supply warehouse business?
That's pretty much it, yeah. It's just gonna be for storage, for trucks.
You said you have employees that'll punch in and punch out. Are they traveling places or working?
Yeah, we work all around. I mean, we're doing work over here in Town Lennox. I'm doing an addition on Kaiser Beach Road.
Are you a residential contractor?
Yeah, so I do commercial as well, but we just started a few years ago, so we don't do a whole heck of a lot of commercial yet. I mean, I've done a few in the past couple of years, but not crazy.
Okay.
Most of that work's done in Syracuse.
Well, it's a construction business. They've got the equipment and the materials there. The employees come to show up to dispatch from there. It sounds like we just got to check with Larry again, just find out exactly where the code this all fits in, and he might have a quick and easy.
Again, we sound like a broken record today.
I know.
Okay, it's the pathway.
Right. No,
Because there is no commercial business out there, no matter what zone it is,
right.
LR40 or ag. Now, there's things like home occupation. Well, a 60 by you can only use 400 square feet in a home occupation. Well, a 60 by 40 kind of does that in,
right.
60 by 100 or whatever what you're talking. So we're outside of that scale, right. Okay, and that's a separate parcel that is not incorporated into your residence. You need your residence. So that's an issue that we've got to wrestle with. In concept, do we have a big problem with that? No, because we are actually passing some things in town, like John talked about, where we've got businesses out in ag, but they need the space.
Right.
Okay. We've also got a law that allows auxiliary buildings, but your business isn't there. In other words, if you had wooded area and you wanted to make some maple syrup and use a syrup house, we could handle that. Right. We could do something, without a residence and all that kind of stuff.
Understood.
But you're kind of falling in the cracks here.
Right.
So we're going to have to do the same thing and sort this out and get a pathway for what this might be. Again, we're not guaranteeing you anything, but we're also not, we're not casting stones here. Okay?
Yeah.
So I think we're going to say the same thing to the board. Just give us let's table this one until next meeting.
Is there gonna be an office in this building?
It sounded like it.
Yeah, small office on the left side.
You have that office. You have an employee or
Yes. I have a
somebody that does that.
Yeah,
Okay.
secretary, yeah.
Okay.
Now, if I had to, which I don't really want to do, Larry was telling me that I could join both the properties together, right?
I don't. We don't know. Before you don't do anything.
That's just a question I had, I don't
All
know.
right, but just rhetorically, I'm not sure what that would gain you.
Right.
Other than if you then might open up that home occupation idea, but the buildings that you have, it doesn't fit. Home occupations are somebody that's either got the ultimate is like internet sales.
Right.
Nobody comes and goes basically.
Right.
Maybe a professional something.
Right.
Okay. Those types of things. We've had maybe a quilt maker or something of very low impact.
Understood.
Okay? You're in the business realm here.
Right.
Now, even though you don't do business on the site.
Right, correct.
Okay?
Yeah, understood.
That's so we kind of understand the parameters of it.
Okay.
We just don't have
Right, yeah.
Huh?
I understand.
Yeah, we just don't have a way to get there.
Understood.
Without doing a little more research on this one. It just so happens we never do this. It's the first time I think we've ever done this.
Never had
But we got two of them tonight. Yeah.
Happens.
Yeah.
Not very often.
Not here.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have a motion to table?
Table to next month.
Yeah. Is there any second?
I'll so move.
Move second.
Yep.
All right, any discussion? Not hearing any, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Check in, mid-month and say, hey, where are you?
That sounds good. Thank you.
Okay?
Yep, have a good day.
So the current terminology, which would be business home is what it's called, and that's an accessory use of a service character by the owner occupant and clearly secondary in the use of the principal building for residential purposes. He's talking about joining the two lots. Maybe Larry is saying you join them, but then you got to deal with, is this secondary? A business like this can be secondary to your house when you got employees punching the clock and equipment and trucks leaving. You're stretching that.
Is there a limit on square footage you can use?
I haven't dug through it enough. I mean, just the definition alone makes me wonder how that would work.
Yeah, Larry said 5+ acres. You'd have to have 5+ acres to join both properties together.
Yeah, that might be.
I don't know. That's something you guys figure out.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So Frank, home occupation, that was limited to X amount of square footage.
400 square feet of either your residence or an accessory building. And no employees. He's got employees all over the place. He'd have a hard time going home occupation.
You're not supposed to know. Here's home occupation. You don't know what's going on. It's in there, but you don't even know it. So nobody gets harmed.
No signage or anything like
Right.
that.
Well,
No car traffic. Yeah.
You can have a little.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Breen. Okay. Tell us what you got in mind.
Well, this is, obviously we've been talking about this and some other issues. What I'm trying to do tonight is just strictly the lot line adjustment with Mr. Tornator and sell him the proposed piece of land.
Okay. You can point out where that is on the site right there.
I don't know if you have a copy of the survey. I have a survey with it printed on the survey. This is Mr. Tornator's land here. What I'm proposing is extending his property line approximately 95 feet north and then west, and kind of sell him this triangular piece right here.
Okay. Here's where we think we are. You are now in front of the ZBA for variances for a larger question of subdivision, are you not?
Correct, for subdividing my whole property into 3 separate
Okay.
lots. Yes.
right now, that there needs to be some resolution to all of that. For us,
Where is this?
pardon?
Where is this?
Right on the banks of Kansas
That's,
River.
yeah, it's down on Cancer Creek.
Oh, okay.
Sebastian Cove's on the right.
And the Sebastian Cove, that's on the right, on the cross the
Okay.
creek.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And since all of this is in kind of a turmoil here, I think it advisable that the planning board doesn't even get involved with this at this point.
So
At
that-
all.
That's what I was trying to be clear and ask, that I was advised to take this process and isolate this subdivision solely and separately from.
I don't even know whether we can legally do a
There's
subdivision.
an issue of what's called segmentation under the
Okay, this
law.
is the second time I've done this, and Larry Ball's told me to apply.
Well,
and I've
you
paid a
heard tonight
fee.
with Larry Ball that we're not quite sure
This is getting frustrating on my behalf, because I'm trying, I asked what the process is, and I try to go through the
But
process.
you probably ought to call us first and see how
It's
that
totally
works.
understandable that your frustration.
I mean, if I wasn't to go through with any other subdivision.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to say tonight. What I wanna do is isolate a lot line division.
Right.
And there's gotta be a streamlined process for a lot line division, because this doesn't involve any of the.
Yeah, but according to the state law, when the board knows that there's a bigger planned project that's out there, we have to, no matter what we do, we have to look at the environmental impact. And there might not be any, certainly this little thing you're talking about, I doubt that there is. But the law says, if we know there's something bigger on its way, we're supposed to look at the whole thing.
Okay.
And if you don't, it's been segmented. When you chop it into smaller pieces, the environmental impacts may seem smaller.
And this is
but
what
they're
I've
really
asked
not.
several
That's the
times
tricky
before
part.
I even came here.
Yeah, so I'm sorry about that, but I feel like I gotta have a longer talk with Larry about this part of it. So, did you fill out a separate application?
I did.
Yeah,
I paid the $250 fee after the zoning board of appeals meeting last month.
Yeah.
I spoke with Larry, and I spoke with my attorney, I spoke with Jeff Moore, who's my surveyor, and they all said what you need to do is fill out a separate application with just this on it, and then that you guys would have the authority to do this. But I understand, and what Mr. Laney's saying this evening, if the other thing's going on, and that does affect
You know about it. I mean, let's say you did this.
It'd be nice to get
3
some
years
answers,
ago,
though.
and then you came in, well, I didn't even know I was gonna do this, but now I am, then that's not segmentation.
The other issue I know that we're facing, and I know it's gonna come back here, and this is just something Larry's brought up to me, is when I bought this property is already separated by a 10-foot piece of land right here. That was transferred to Miss Kelly Roach up here in the red house. So that was something that came up after the last zoning board meeting, that Larry said this board.
Is not that whole 10-foot section somehow, yeah, okay, that's what we're doing.
So
yeah,
Larry thought there were some ramifications, because he's calling it, when Mr. Garone, the previous owner, came in before the board and subdivided this.
he didn't do that. No, there was no, I don't think we did any formal subdivision of anything.
I read the minutes from the meeting, it was in 2017. When Mr. Garone came in for 2 consecutive meetings and got the approval to subdivide this red house off. When he bought
The red house,
Right.
that I agree,
Yeah.
that I agree with.
And so so that was subdivided from the remainder land.
But not that little strip. He did that all on his own.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. And that's what I want to bring up tonight is, in speaking with Mr. Ball says because this, he had asked me to come in, and originally I was just going to build a house for myself. Right. Mr. Ball asked me to start this process to clean this up. He called it an illegal subdivision. And I agreed with him. I said, listen, I want to help you clean it up. In the process, with Mr. Ball in discussion, I talked about subdividing it into 3 lots, and that's where the plan came from. In talking to Mr. Ball after the last zoning board of appeals meeting last month, Mr. Ball was going to issue me a building permit to start building anywhere on the land before it was subdivided. And the issue came up that it's not contiguous, that I have 2 lots. And so I can't even build anywhere on the land technically right now, because this lot's not in compliance because it's not connected to the other lot. For size, it's in business zoning, and then these 2 lots lack the 911 road, which I built, by the way. There's a road connecting Water Street all the way to School Street now. So that's been done. But he had said that this needs to be resolved by the planning board, and I want him to put this under radar. In talking to Mr. Jeff Moore, the only issue that could come up is who was harmed by that action. action. And the only person we can think of would be me, and I'm not claiming any damages.
Okay, explain who would harm by what?
By having Mr., the way it was explained to me is the town has to look at this and determine if any of the neighbors were harmed by Mr. Garone's action of subdividing this. And
Frank, that was a right of way.
it's a paper street.
It's a right of way. Remember hooking?
No.
It is a paper street. It's Bay Avenue.
Where's your paper street?
Right here, it's Bay Avenue, runs all the way across. It's not developed at all.
So part of the right, no, wait, we're getting confused here. See, the lot with the old house, I can see, yes, we did subdivide that off.
Yes.
Because it followed our subdivision law.
I
Have
agree.
no question about it.
Absolutely.
All right, now you're into an issue here, what follows our subdivision law? The only one you've got, according to our law, that you have frontage is that front lot right there.
But I can't build on it because it doesn't meet lot requirements.
What do you mean it does?
I need a variance for it.
Why? Why do you need a variance?
Because it's in commercial, it's in business zoning, and the lot size is smaller than what's required of business.
It's an undersized lot, you have an application.
I think some of that is the planning board discretion.
Larry's concern was that the ZBA might not be able to grant my subdivision because it's already subdivided, and this board may have a say or an action in that. And that's all I'm pointing out is the fact that when I bought the land, I thought I was buying that, and it's actually included in my abstract and my deed that I own that land. But it was also recorded in Mrs. Roach's deed when she bought the land, and they actually own it, and I have an easement across there for utilities above and below ground.
I've got to talk to your attorney some more, I haven't followed up, I've been gone, so
I just want to make sure that they're aware, that you guys are aware of this now, so that when I go before the zoning board of appeals again next week, and hopefully get my variances, that this doesn't become a snag point, and that we can start working through any resolutions that might need to take place now.
Frank, wasn't that just a right of way and he still had access to the back?
With Garone, when Garone did that, he did. Right.
And he had access.
But he sold, my understanding is he sold the right of way.
He sold that 10 foot strip of land that comes through, I'm sorry, I'm not touching it, I'm getting close enough. It comes through here, and then up into here, Mrs. Roach owns, and she owns this little piece of dock over here.
That was the whole purpose to get to that dock. Yeah.
And that's why it was a right of way.
So as far as the town attorney is concerned and this board is concerned, the zoning board of appeals granting me my variance to subdivide this, even though this is already segregated, isn't going to cause a snafu anywhere.
I haven't given a final legal opinion on this one
Right.
yet. I missed the zoning board.
That's right. That's the problem.
So
they were looking to speak with you.
So I wanted to talk to your attorney too.
Yeah.
I want to give him a chance to explain your position. And then we got our meeting next week for variance.
There's 3 variances. This one for lot size and setback. This one for a small setback and road frontage, but I have it now in this one for road
How big
frontage.
is the lot on 31 right here?
This one is a half an acre, and this one is 0.6 acres. This property over here, this double wide was just
whatever you need.
Right here was just subdivided off.
Right.
And that's smaller than this. So everything, my lots are larger than everything adjacent to it.
You have some sewer and water.
I have sewer and water on all 3 proposed sites. The sewer runs all the way down to the lakefront.
And how much road frontage do you have there on 31?
I have 150 feet, over 150 feet for this lot. These 2 lots would be under a 280A variance, town law 280A variance with a 911 access road, providing access
So
to
that
it.
Route 31 lot is a legal lot, isn't it?
Not because it's in a business district and I need 40,000 square feet.
Just gotta get that. There's a few just dangling issues that we're sorting through. I mean, this 280A subdivision is extremely uncommon to see. Like your attorney and myself, but I've been practicing for 32 years, I've never run into it.
Some
Practically
townships,
speaking, yes.
some townships have their own form for it.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah,
So we just need to sort it all out and see how it's gonna play out. And
Sure.
The zoning board has its own job to do, so they have to do that. And then this board has its job to do.
And I've had that road put in, I've had it engineered, drawings, and put it in according to specs.
So you own that irregular shaped lot there?
I own
the one
everything
on Route 31, and then the one that's along the Canasarega?
Everything in blue. I own all this vacant land here.
That's all one deed, one title?
It's all one deed, but it's not one lot.
Is the previous owner illegally subdivided?
Wow.
So what had happened is in 1925, Mr. Hopper had owned all this land and filed the subdivision with the county, and he lived here. He died in the 40s or 50s and left it to his daughter Elizabeth and her mom Mary Hopper and Elizabeth Weeks. And she sold a little piece to her nieces and nephew where Mr. Tornator is, and then she had a cottage on the lake and enjoyed it herself and didn't sell any more land. When she passed after 2000, Mr. Garone, who owns this cottage, bought the whole thing and then subdivided this house off, and then I bought the land from Mr. Garone. There's been a lot of confusion as to right-of-ways on the streets and things that I've cleared up with these old maps and things as well. But like I said, the concern I want to highlight is Larry thought that it would hold up the subdivision because it was illegally subdivided, and the board may have a concern, but I can't see how any neighbor would have been damaged. I mean, I thought I bought land that I don't own. I guess in my eyes, I'd be doing it wrong, and I'm not claiming it.
Frank, we got to schedule a meeting with Larry.
Special meeting with the codes enforcement.
I mean, we really got to talk to Larry and say, Larry, just walk us through, you know, the advice you're giving. And someone's probably totally fine. I just need to understand where his head is, because I don't have any explanatory.
See, he's looking for a variance on that front lot. He's got frontage, but that half acre, he needs 40,000. He needs a builder's acre. But I'm not 100% sure if we did a little more digging that in a business zone for residential, we set a lot of the other parameters. That might be something, or you're going to get a variance, or he's got to get a variance.
He's asking
for that. That's one of these things he's in for.
I have an application,
That's
an active application, as
that's
Mr.
what he's
Lane
in
pointed
for.
out,
Public hearing right now.
for a size variance and setback for the front lot, for a setback and lack of road frontage on 288 for this lot, and then lack of road frontage on this lot. So every variance I need to cover that is actively pending in front of
They're all pending.
Yeah.
There's multiple variances.
Okay, well, we're not going anywhere with this one.
Just
tonight.
I really think we got to sit down with Larry and say, Larry, walk us through each of these applications and how it came up.
But tonight we're not going to deal with it.
No, I understand.
We're not dealing with this until the ZBA. There's some kind of resolution that has some legal basis here coming out of that. Because I said, I think right now we don't even know whether we have any right to do any subdivision that doesn't meet our code.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can have all the old laws in the world, but my assumption would be, and I'm not the attorney, obviously, is that if the town subdivision laws say this, then that's what you deal with. And you can't go into an area that doesn't meet the parameters of the town subdivision law and do any subdivision.
The 280A is a thing under the town law that we can look at. And that's the zoning board has that right in front of it now to decide if it's applicable.
That 280 law.
They can grant that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand.
I've read it.
I understand all that, but I just.
Yeah.
But we need to have
we
that.
We can't do anything tonight.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Okay, we'll see you in August.
So
we can table. Well, I wouldn't table. I wouldn't even accept the application.
And then you'll be in contact with Mr. Etol, Mr. Lane.
Yeah. Will you let him know?
Otherwise, you acknowledge that
I did.
the application.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to remember this.
I just want to make sure that that the land. You can see it on the surveys I've given you.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Paul had a concern. I didn't see how it would hold anything up, but I wanted to bring it to everybody's light so it's not a blind spot.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
It's like my father with his grandchildren. He never could get the neighbors.
But that was
All right. Last but not least.
Guess I'm up, huh?
Are you still awake?
I don't know.
You gotta do better than what we've done so far.
So the first thing, this year I think I talked to Larry today. But he,
Oh,
but he,
dear.
but he
There's
said,
trouble to start with.
so when he said this to me, he included a map, so I got my.
Okay, wait, Doug, you're gonna have to bring people up to speed here.
All right,
One, he's got why he is here is he got a notice to remedy on a piece of property on 31, which he's going to explain to you. Okay,
So
that's it.
So
That's
here's
it
my
right
property
here.
on 31. So on this property, we were one of the few people, unlike this junk pile over here, that actually came here and got a special use permit.
Are you just blocked out from the fire department?
Yes.
Okay.
So the fire department's here, we're here, this guy has some kind of business running there, he's got
Junkyard.
a junkyard, he collects old sea-doos like some people collect little humble things, you know, whatever, but he's, so we're right here. So we had a special use permit approved in 2010 to have units out front for sale, to fix stuff in the building back here, and to store repairs on the side of the road. Recently, these 3 trees, we had to do some drainage work out here a couple years ago, and these 3 trees were injured and they were dying on one side. And we kind of needed more space. We're parking stuff out here in the dirt when we're trying to sell it. So we got rid of the 3 trees and the berm that the 3 trees were on, cleaned that all up, put a nice gravel pad there so when we park stuff out there, it's not sitting in the mud. And that's basically, so nothing's really changed about our business. We're not doing anything different than we were doing before. Someone made a complaint that that they didn't like the appearance of what we'd done, and something about us selling things out there, which we've been doing right along, and which our special use permit granted us that right. The drawing that Mr. Ball included with this complaint is from 1996, when much earlier, before we built our house and built the garage. So when we got the special use permit, the garage was here, the house was here, we did all this stuff. A long, long time ago, I had some ideas about how I wanted to do something here, and we had a picture of the house on the back edge of the lot back here, and a building we wanted to put here that was L-shaped. This drawing has nothing to do with our special use permit. It's not pertinent to this at all. So I talked.
What's the origin of that, Doug?
This here. So this drawing was in our file for that property because at one time in 1996, I came before the board because we were thinking of doing something like this. Later on, we changed things up, and after my dad died and I actually inherited the property, we decided to put the house up front and the shop in the back. But you probably remember ran us into the mess where we had some fuel tanks out there, and that was a whole other. That was a whole other thing. So a few things. One, the special use permit explicitly said that we could have units out front for sale. I asked Larry to see if he could find the minutes from the meeting because he the file didn't really have any details about my special use permit in it. He was going to do that today, and I don't know if he was able to find them.
It's right there, isn't it?
I don't.
Well,
There's 2 folders.
that's what I'm digging through now.
There's 2 folders, I think the one on the bottom.
So I don't imagine there were too many people.
Here's okay, first, your SLB 9.-3-5-12. Is that the property?
No.
No, I think it's
1044, 138.
Okay. That's what this
start.
Huh? Yeah. That's what this starts out with. Okay. Oh, no, take it back. This, the ice cream stand.
Oh.
This is the one down. This is the one down.
After, right?
This is the one down
Yes.
towards. Okay, that's what this is.
That's for.
Okay. Well, okay. What that is, here's a litany of all the activities that have been on that site. Okay, and dates.
But it has nothing to do with it.
Not this.
So
No,
this
no.
thing, yeah. So this was another thing. So this is
2233.
That's it.
That's you.
And just some background on this. Before all this, the reason we ran into trouble when we built the house, previous to us building a house here, it was a vacant lot and it was a disaster for a long time. Before that, it was a thrift shop that sold a bunch of trinkets. And before that, it was a gas station. So it's not like we're changing the character of this lot in any way, right? I mean, we're not.
I'm afraid.
All right, but I guess, Doug, where we're going here, okay, again, we're good, we're scratching our head here saying, okay, what are we doing?
Sure.
Well, you don't, I gotta do some research here, but you never committed to a site plan. There never was like landscaping out front.
No,
you had some existing trees, right?
Yeah, right.
That went bad, and you took them out. You took them out.
Exactly.
You put stone in there, and you're putting units out there to sell.
And if anything, it looks better. I mean, we had 3 half-dead trees. The trees started to die.
Okay, so you never, your opinion, this is what you're saying,
yes,
is that I didn't do anything that I wasn't supposed to, or I was told that I couldn't do.
Correct.
Right? All right.
Your special use permit did say, I'm asking, you had to do sales out front and repairs of the vehicle.
Yes.
Say it again, Phil, what you say?
If I'm remembering right, and Doug's saying that he believes this, he knows where it's better than I do, he was allowed to have sales out front on 31.
Yeah.
And then the garage is in the back there, he was gonna do repairs on, ATVs and
Automobiles, whatever. I don't remember who was at that meeting, but there probably wasn't too many people here tonight. Well, maybe Frank, if you were there, maybe. Oh yeah, you were probably there. And at the time, I think Mr. Koala was the attorney.
Was he here?
He was here.
Wow.
He was here. He weighed in on it. I remember.
God bless him.
So yeah.
I remember.
Here's, okay, ID this.
Oh, look at this. All right.
Okay, I presume that
There you go.
it's you, right?
Well, hang on. Wait a minute. No, maybe not. So that's a. Let me see. I think that's
that
the
right
old picture.
there. That right there says my right is my right.
So that's an old. Let me see here.
Is that dated, Frank?
No.
Let me tell you. Oh, yeah. So this is a 1996 picture.
That's the 1996.
And this is my business back in 1996. So that is a 1996 picture.
Okay, but in that, I just wanted to show the board that in there's his house. But there's nothing on that map that indicates any kind of landscaping or anything.
Right. Well, the other thing is, so here's 31 in this drawing. Here's my house. In actuality, my house is up here. So this was a proposal back in 1996.
Okay.
Where I said, hey, I think I want to do something here. And
What year did you build your house?
2004. I think my son's graduating from high school next year, and he was born a couple months after we. Oh, so yeah, 2004. So yeah, that was an older. I did draw that, but that was an older thing. But
So the reason I'm trying to understand to amend the permit, special use permit, because the landscaping has been removed?
Yeah, he wants them to account for that.
They took it out, right.
Up front,
Right,
and
it
then
was
see if
approved.
you guys will sign off.
Right,
on
it was approved because of existing
That's what I think,
landscaping.
yeah.
Now landscaping has died and you removed it, and you don't have landscaping. Is that what we're talking about?
yeah, I mean there is landscaping out there. We have a berm and a tree.
But somebody's complained that it's different than it was when it was approved, because obviously trees are gone.
Yeah.
And there's
I mean,
there's landscaping that's
The
less.
trees were this tall when we got approved, and they were 30 feet tall.
Well, they were funny, you know.
It's
They,
all right.
they got a reason
So
what they
it was
wanted.
different either way, right? So yeah.
So this was what was approved?
No.
This was not approved?
That's 1996.
He said that
That's
that's
96.
not connected.
The 2010 is, I don't know if we have the 2010.
So
I've got
Site
the
plan.
2010 application and
Is there
everything.
a
right
drawing or a site?
here. Well, that's what I'm looking. That's what I'm trying to
So
find.
That's
I asked,
underscoring the importance of an actual site plan drawing.
so yeah, right. So Larry had showed me that earlier today, and I asked him, since he couldn't find anything in there with an actual drawing, if he had the minutes from that meeting, and he said he thought he could put his hands on them.
But he never got back to it.
But I don't know that he put his hands on them. He was gonna try to get him to you folks for the meeting tonight.
Yeah, we'll need to have that.
Cause I talked to him this morning and asked for that. I said, we gotta know, we gotta have some date.
Yeah, and it's gotta be in the minutes that it was approved.
So it's 2010, and then you say 2017 or something? Or just 2010?
No, just 2010, so 2010.
I can look at home and see if I have it.
Yeah.
Well,
But I think he's, so we have the
okay,
date
here's
of
the
this.
notice of action, this is the notice of action.
Do that, we can just get out of here.
Notice of action,
What's that dated, Frank?
well, that's a good question, I don't even see a date on this.
So John, if he's willing to
There you
add
go, here you
landscape,
go, November 8th,
does
2010.
this go away?
November 8th,
That
2010.
satisfies Larry.
What's that?
Larry cited him for this.
Right, but if you were to add landscaping, which is comparable to what was there.
So here's
does
the,
this
so
issue-
here's,
Trees down?
so here's the
Is
thing,
that?
so here's the
We can't
thing,
take
the
down
land,
trees
Oh, I don't know that,
Take
but
them down and replace.
yeah, and
Right,
Oh,
replacing
we have
the
to
trees.
take them down
Yeah.
and replace them?
so I guess here's the thing, the landscaping, we're willing to do whatever to try to.
Well,
we're-
what I'm saying, okay, before we get there, I don't see where there was a designated site plan that said
There wasn't,
landscaping here.
there wasn't.
It just happened that there were 3 trees standing there, and they were considered landscaping. And they ran their life course, and you took them out.
It provided the buffer at the time.
Right.
I suspect
That's what
the
it did.
planning board wanted to soften the impact.
Provided a
of
buffer
business
that
in
made
this
it was
residential
approved.
style area.
It's gone.
And landscaping's a typical thing you
Right.
guys use to do that.
I
And
don't-
then somebody complained this year, Larry looked at stuff, said, oh, if they took the trees down, that's gonna be the violation. But again,
So to be,
this is another discussion with Larry, is why did you do this? What are we trying to accomplish? What is the planning board trying to do? Although he has the right to come in and ask for an amendment to a site plan anytime he wants, you can agree or disagree. But I'm just wondering, where's the original site plan that says this is what was agreed to by this planning board?
and to be fair, there was,
Looking
I
for.
was looking for
I
it.
don't think that the trees were a part of the discussion. I mean, it makes sense,
They may or
it would
may
be,
not have been.
but I don't
You
think
could
that
be
was
right.
even in the picture, I don't think there
You
was.
could be right.
So I don't know your business, but what are we buffering here that everybody, so what's behind this?
So,
That's,
so nothing, so the stuff, so up
Nothing.
front I have stuff for sale. So prior to this, we had these trees that had grown into
Right.
big trees. So we had, stuff on the edge of the road, which I don't like to put stuff that close to the road, it's in the way and impedes vision. And we had stuff over here for sale, right? But it's sitting in the dirt, so we went, got some nice clean gravel, we did it nice, made a nice rectangle in this area right here. It's gravel, we got our sign out front here, it's right by our sign.
Larry
It's-
took that picture.
It's all,
I
it's
don't
all,
know
this
Larry's
is all
saying. I'm
landscaped,
guessing
well, there's a nice
that
maple tree
he's-
here, we have
these
landscaping
things are
in front of the
pushed up
house.
by the road.
Yeah.
I
So it's,
don't
Worked
believe,
before, maybe
because
until
I
just
know I was
recently, but
here,
again,
because
I
I
don't know
remember
that,
the
so
date
he tells me.
Thanks.
And to get a
That
boat here,
landscaping
jet
was an
ski
issue
here.
at
31 right
that
now?
All
time.
the-
We weren't asked
All
to
this
put
gravel,
stuff
all
on
this
it.
gravel right here.
There's no mention of that in
Gravel
the
was added, or
So is there a
somebody-
mention
And no
of the
site
sign?
plan.
You can't put that
Pardon?
back.
Was there a
I
mention
have
about
no
the
idea.
sign size
Okay.
and
There's
the
no written
trees?
explanation from.
Yeah. Two signs, two signs.
All these applications.
One near Route 31, no larger than 3 by 5. Well, that says, boy, it's written two signs, it talks about one side, it doesn't talk about the other
so I
side.
think they said we could put a sign on the building and we can make that as big as we want because it's not on the highway. It's exactly.
Then only 3 units outside for sale at any one time, no outside storage of parts, no machines parted out. Okay, hours compatible, if you did it in the building, nobody would know, but, not outside.
Right, so that says we can put units for sale right in the minutes, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yep.
Because it's not on it's nowhere in our special use. Then, because we were looking for that to.
Hang on that one.
So it wasn't on what he sent us.
Hang on to that. Well, you get notice of action. I had it right here, but it's second. I said.
So he said, so So, maybe I'm reading into what Larry's got written here, but as far as I can tell, he's saying that we're not supposed to have units for sale on 31, and we made an area to put units for sale on 31, and that's why we're not in compliance.
Well, without a site plan, it's pretty hard to chase that all down. But it does say only 3 units outside for sale at any one time.
So
doesn't say where.
So, and then the other part of that is, and on the side, I think they said we could park units, whatever on the side. But, so I guess the other part of that is, I would like
how long? Okay, not to get too involved here.
Yeah.
Are you really contemplating moving down the road?
I am, but that has a lot of, we gotta jump through.
Lot of ifs with that.
We gotta get through this, and then we gotta get through
All right,
the
well,
SBA, and you know.
Board, let's start. Okay, I think he has got to come up with a detailed site plan of what he has or what he wants.
And looking to move down to the old ice cream place.
Yeah,
there.
so I've got some information on
Right,
it.
but let's not confuse the issue.
Yeah.
Let's clear this one up, okay? Because once it is, that stays with that property. If you decide you're getting caboodle down the road or something, you can sell that for that, whatever, according to that, and they can carry out that special use permit. But right now, it's too loosey-goosey, okay? So you're gonna have to come up with a site plan of what you want right now, and this board will have to get this here with you in order to get that straightened out to remedy your notice for remedy.
Okay.
Okay? Is that all right, board? I mean, you can start.
If he comes up with a plan, we can determine if we think there's a violation to the current special use permit.
Well,
Put a little.
that's we don't know what that is.
That's what I mean. How do
We don't know that, but what the point would be, we can amend his special use permit to, according to now an agreement. He's changing. We don't have a site plan. Let's get a site plan. And by that, Doug, you gotta upgrade what we've seen here for site plans. Okay?
Now, to be fair, that's what they asked me for back in.
All right. But
So Larry Singh said something about automobile. He underscored the word automobiles. Did you see that in his notice of violation?
So I don't think that, it says we can have units out for sale. I don't think it specifies that it can't be an automobile.
Well, he wrote, I want to know why.
have you got one out there?
Putting a couple of cars out there.
So I think there's confusion as to maybe at the time, and I don't know, maybe it was, hey, I would like to sell jet skis and some other
that's our
things like that. And then some neighbors said, hey, he's selling cars out there now, and that's why Larry may have put an underscore on that first sentence saying automobiles. But I don't know if that's what he meant or not. I assume.
No, but that's a fair question. I mean, that would not be. That's not the spirit.
Well, that's when it happened, when we put two cars out front, that's when somebody complained.
Okay.
Were they cars with license plates on them, or were they?
We're a car dealer.
Yes, we're
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Then
Small
that
trailer,
could be,
automobile.
Well, then that we'd have to reapply.
Mm-hmm.
Good site plan, an application.
So
and redo this if we're really gonna amend this thing.
So
I believe at the time, I'm not positive, that it was sale
No cars.
Marine equipment.
Cars were in the mix.
So my question is, if we do this, one, I mean, like you said, that's kind of loosey-goosey, but the 3 units is in there. It says we can sell units. He's saying we can't sell units. It's in the minutes, which he didn't have access to when he wrote this. I just want, my question, I want to write this up and come back to you and get this all done right. But in the meantime, I would still like to be able to operate my business there while we're doing this. It wasn't like
you'd have to speak to that, John. I
so
mean,
the rule on that is
we're not in enforcement.
So I'm sorry, I'm going to sneeze again. The rule on that is he's come in. Larry cited him. He said, "Hey, go get a special permit. You're trying." Right. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not taking you to court until this gets resolved.
And if for some reason you keep doing it and they say you can't, then we'd end up in court. But in the interim, I think Frank's advice is the best, which is to get a good site plan together and show this board what it is you'd like to have amended. And in interim, we need Larry to show us historically what is it that the board had approved. If we can piece that together, then you can compare that baseline to what he's asking for and decide is this or something in between going to work.
I mean, I think, not for nothing, but, you know, I hope we can take this into account, because I've dealt with that for 17 years, and it still looks like that.
No, it looks worse.
It looks worse.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So, you know,
who is that?
Oh, that's
so before COVID.
Yeah. So this isn't, you know, everything isn't always perfect here.
Is it a firehouse? That's all I want to
Well,
know.
I can't help but agree with you.
Right?
I can't help but agree. You know,
So this,
we're out here beating your head, beating your head against the tree, and the guy over here is getting away with murder.
Yeah.
We were there 2 years.
I can't help but
burying
agree with
his
you.
house. I called him, I'm like, he's burying his house in the ground.
I said, don't call anybody.
Okay, so let's, I would say, to document that he's here, because I agree with John. He's in good faith, he's trying to do this, let's see if we can get it straight, and we'll just, table this till next meeting, and, we'll see what you bring in, and we'll go from there.
So, all right, we'll do that.
Okay, but I mean, that's the start. What do you want? But now, when you do your site plan, okay, there's no law. We don't have a law that says it's got to be professionally done. But it's got to be kicked up a notch. Okay.
The next one.
Huh?
Well, I started. This was a quick one today, and I wanted to get more stuff. Well, as good as I wanted.
You need something to scale with real dimensions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well labeled. Okay.
Where you want to sell your units?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show those areas.
And this whole thing here is now just a gravel square. It's flat, and it makes it so you don't have to have stuff on the edge of the road. So it's
well, you can't. You got. Where's your right of way line?
Right. So, but it's laid out a lot nicer. Like before, they said I could put 3 vehicles on it, but where the heck am I going to put them? So with the trees gone and that pad there, it makes it a lot.
What are we talking down there? Is that a 99? Is that 99 foot? 31, 99 feet?
Oh,
or 66?
I think it's 66.
Well, you can find out. Just don't careful how you do it. Measure from the center. the center strip out. See what you got.
Yeah. I don't believe it's 66.
I
don't believe it's 66.
We did it. Remember, we did it for guy down the road there. You and I were ducking cars. But, well, I'm just saying, if you did that, you're going to get an idea of where the right of way is not going to be in his buildings. Not going to be back that far. So, you kind of.
So you intend to continue with automobiles?
Yeah, I mean, we're not doing 20 cars, right?
You should put a number too. That's
we can do that. I mean,
the majority is snowmobiles and jets.
And I think the way we've got it laid out here, I'd like to actually ask to be able to put more than 3 things for sale at once, because I think we have space for that, without making it crazy. So I'll do that. Since we have to come back anyway, I might as well ask for one. And then if we don't agree with that, then we could feel right.
No, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, I think we're going to be here for a little bit, so we can. There's still a lot of ground to cover on the other. We got to keep doing business.
Okay, let's shift gears. What about down the road?
So the other one, I kind of threw this together quick.
Guys, pay attention here.
So I threw this together quick today because I figured since I'm going to be here for this, I've been busy and haven't been able to get in for this one, and I do this when we were here. So we want to put up initially. I brought.
Phil, can you get that place that.
It's 1305 is the street number, the map number. If you need the map number to get, you want to bring it up on the.
No, I think he can. I think he can do it with the address.
Yeah. So I have a survey map if we needed it. So right now we've got our business. We have what we have here, and then we have another location in Durhamville in United County. It's a little bigger, we have clothing there for snowmobiles, and it's like 8,000 square feet. We got parts and this, a lot of stuff there. What we'd like to do, rather than have one there and one here and run back and forth all the time and have half our stuff in one place and half in the other, have one larger location on Route 31. We can bring all this in there.
Give him the address.
1305.
You get 1305, 31?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, he wants you to put it.
Oh.
Come on.
Past his bedtime.
What do we do? I think it has that number here.
What do you do?
Let me see. See if I did it right.
Yeah, 9-3-5.12.
You remember that?
It's written down here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you
That's right, you're right.
9.-3-5.12.
Thought Joe was gonna plug it.
Yeah.
Sure done. There we go, yeah, that looks familiar. So, this is the site, and basically, we wanna, at
Where
least.
is that site?
That is the old Bishop Way to go.
Lighthouse ice
Yeah.
cream.
Oh, the lighthouse?
Yeah.
Now,
From, Lauren.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but it's got no, it's got a variance.
For
Huh?
those specific things. Got a variance for the gift shop. They had truck.
Are they, every one of them got a variance for that?
I have no idea. I told her, make sure you can do what you wanna do there before you put the dollars on the table.
Well, here, see, it said it got a use variance. Then, whatever, rightly or wrongly, it got special use.
Okay.
Special use for that. Now, John, this is one. This property right here.
Yep, I know.
All right, that property, the ZBA, a guy went there and he wanted to start, I think, the first thing was the gift shop. Okay, that was I don't think, it's 1937 here, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember
when but he got it and he went to the ZBA, got a use variance.
Yeah.
Now, whatever that wording was, I think it was assumed it was for retail business.
Gotta read the resolution.
That's right. I don't know what it is. But after that, there is 7 special use permits given to that property. One was a gift shop, approved, truck cap sales, used car sales, truck cap sales, that was denied.
Oh, denied.
Wow. Ice cream store, mini golf course with the ice cream, restaurant, they were fish fry, eliminate the mini golf.
What year what was the last year they approved something?
Doggy daycare in 2019.
That never made it.
Yeah, they never went anywhere with that, yeah.
We asked her for dimensions and stuff, and she went berserk on us.
She never, no action notices.
So it has a use variance for various commercial purposes.
Yes.
That's how we've interpreted it?
Yes.
Right.
But I'm not
Usually a
saying
use
that's
variance is
right.
for
I'm
the
not
very
saying
specific use that you give it for. Typically, a use variance is granted for that specific use. As tight as it can be. You know, if you said retail clothing store, it could be all kinds of retail clothing stores.
Now, we didn't get any
It might
advice.
have been
We
done
probably
wrong,
didn't
yeah,
get
I
any
don't know.
legal advice on that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, I think that was in that.
That was probably in the mid-80s.
Yeah, but that's,
Yeah, it was.
So we can-
87.
So if the question is, can we accommodate this proposal here on that?
That would be without him going to get
Gotta look and see.
but then again, he'd be looking for a use variance, and he couldn't do
It's
that.
gonna be a garage, like a service part, and then the front's gonna be a store
Mhm.
with my graphics design company.
What are the allowed uses in that zone right now? What's allowed
Well, it's
by way of special use?
no, it is an MR12.
It's not business.
That's a problem.
It's not a business.
Problem, yeah. It doesn't make
Around
sense.
surrounding
Yeah.
it, no, it's not. There's no business there.
Okay, so it's an island in and of itself,
Yeah,
that happened to have a use variance for, and that's what I wanna read, is what was that, the minutes of that original use variance, was it broad enough to accommodate?
Yeah,
that
I
stuff as
bet,
well?
I would not, that
Use
would
variances
happen.
are really hard to get in the zoning world, it's like, it's so hard to do.
I know
Some
at
places
that
you go, they
time,
give
I
away
was,
like candy, they're not supposed to, but that's, the city of Syracuse, I get a million use variances, I should be getting this, but they're gonna give it to me, so my client gets it, and I'm happy. I know I'm on tape, but, not going on. In some places, they'll do it correctly, which is if it's already zoned that way and you wanna change it through the use variance, it's a self-created hardship, it's an automatic sorry, but you can't do that. And the only way to solve that is to change the entire zoning of that area, which is too big of an ask to really do unless we're doing a new comprehensive plan. I'm not trying to encourage that we do that either. That's its own mess.
we tried that once.
Yeah,
That didn't work.
so you have to go to the zoning board for a use variance. And I think now the zoning board is aware of how the rules work, and they don't hold them down use variances anymore. Since I've been around, they kind of know what the law is now, typically speaking. So that's, not to be the bearer of bad news for the fourth or fifth time tonight, but that's kind of what it is.
All right,
So is there a way to do this, or?
but who owns it?
It's a policy decision for the town board. I don't see a path through a use variance at the zoning board unless the original use variance was written in such a broad language that we could pull it into that use variance. And I doubt it, but I don't know because I haven't seen the language.
All right, so we've got, that's the first thing, is we gotta go find the original language in that use variance and see why. But technically, what we're telling whoever the owner's,
Rudy.
yeah, Rudy, right, okay. That, the only thing you can have there is a gift shop.
Whatever's been already approved.
Well, I don't know. I mean, are they valid? Are those special?
If nobody challenged them within the time for the statute of limitations, then it's protected at least.
Oh, okay.
But you can't change it to something different.
That
itself.
Anyway, anything from gift shop to truck cab sales to ice cream store and mini golf.
But not something I probably should go to.
All right, so we gotta go look for the language on that one. All right, do your homework on this one. We'll do our homework on the other one and see what we can do with that.
Fair enough.
It's not like we don't want the business.
Yeah.
I mean, and part of the zoning idea is to get business where you want the business. If there's unoccupied, now granted, we're saying you gotta negotiate in the business zone with somebody that's got the property and they don't wanna negotiate, right?
Yeah.
We know all that, but that's really the theory of doing it,
So.
You're in a business where you are now, that is a business, that is zone business, and you're entitled to carry out business within certain parameters.
We tried to purchase a property across the street, and that went nowhere, so.
Yeah, we're trying
Unless
to
the county takes it for taxes.
Right.
Last year, the county didn't want it for taxes. So we went to the family, we almost had a deal on that, and then there was too many people involved and it fell apart.
to be responsible for something.
Carol's the one that's got everything under control.
All right, let's see if we can find a pathway for you.
Okay, yeah, if we can do it, I'd love to.
It's like we gotta do some homework.
Larry could meet with us Friday morning. Would Larry be able to meet with us, me and you and him, on Friday morning to go over?
I can do
all
it.
these
I
open
mean,
items?
I'm okay.
Do you have enough
Oh, you
time?
gotta check with me first.
I gotta check with Paul.
Oh.
Can I do that?
No, I have to give him,
No, we got cemetery
Have
work.
to work
We gotta-
overtime.
Oh, you got cemetery. Well, the weather looks kind of rainy Friday. So.
that's all right, we work in the rain.
Oh my God!
Thanks.
You're a taskmaster, Paul. Thank you.
We're gonna need
Meet
it.
in a junkyard, Doug.
One of those mornings I gotta go to Liverpool.
Oh, that's what we do.
So let's see.
We're not building the Eiffel Tower or anything like that, we got some time to do things.
Friday. I mean, I have Friday morning open right now. I thought that might be a good time to nail Larry down on
Are
this.
you're gonna approach him?
Me? No.
Is the meeting still?
I can call Larry tomorrow.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I can ask him if he can meet with me and you on Friday morning, like at what time, like 8?
I'll do whatever.
Would Larry get here at 8 o'clock, do you know? Just by from.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And I would tell him these 4, 5, whatever. What do we have to roast?
Well, we just got 2, so then 2, 3 more.
But there's like other than the public hearings we just had, every single one of these got tabled. And
We've never done it.
We don't. I've never seen this before.
We've never done it.
Which means next month's meeting is all of these plus whatever new menu items you select. You're gonna have a long meeting the next.
Okay. All right.
So you've got Robbins with the temporary fence and the horse.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
Hello. Whether that's a permissible use, construction supply warehouse in an LR40, is that really an allowed use in an LR40 with what he described? We gotta ask Larry, why did he send us here? Why did he send them there? Breen is its own animal, that's gotta get sorted, and that's really not necessarily a Larry question of me and this other lawyer sorting that out, we gotta figure that one out. So that's, maybe we don't spend too much time on that. Weaver, that was tabled on 2 different levels, which is, we gotta see the new permit, and a new site plan, and then this question about this lady, that piece of property there on 31, what was that original variance? What did it give? I'm gonna suspect it's not gonna help.
No, I
feel bad because.
I do too, but I'm also saying, I also feel badly for Lauren Rudy, really.
Yeah.
He's gotta understand that he's limited.
Now,
All right, can we close this? Okay, let's close the meeting so Don can shut things down.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Pass. Okay.
So I'm